Hello, everybody. Julz is here from positiveimpact.tv. Today in the studio, we have a special treat for you guys. Joel is a prosperity and abundance expert. He's going to share with us sort of a little bit of an advanced technique. So I'm assuming most of you already have a foundation of manifesting or some principles of law of attraction down pat. So we're going to talk today about one of the fastest way or one of the most effective ways to get from where you are to a more abundant or prosperous place. So Joel, please introduce yourself. Let our listeners and viewers know who you are, who you help, and how, and let's jump right into it.
So first of all, my company name Sol Moore is named after my daughters, Lauren and Morgan. So I'm a proud dad of two amazing, awesome, beautiful, caring, thoughtful, and courageous daughters. So for me, that's most important in my life. And my company, and I am a prosperity coach, as you mentioned, Julz. I teach people how to shift their mindset from poverty consciousness to prosperity consciousness, from thoughts of, I can't afford that, money doesn't grow on trees, that's too expensive, to thoughts of abundance and prosperity. And that's how I grew up, actually. So I think most of us grew up with those kinds of thoughts and talk from parents or peers. Now, my background is I started my career as an actuary at an insurance company, then a credit analyst, equity analyst. I managed $700 million at Citi, had my own hedge fund before shutting it down to do this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I went to a personal development course and there was a guy there speaking about stocks and stock options. He was a guest speaker. And when he spoke about options in particular, he made it sound like that was an easy way to get rich. He said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich, and options are essentially risk-free. And so I was sick to my stomach. I had people tap me on the shoulder, whisper in my ear, Joel, does this make sense? Are options really risk-free? So after he was done, we went out of the auditorium. I told him, please don't do this. He has no idea about any of you individually, and most importantly, no idea about your mindset or belief that you become rich using options. Went home that night and I couldn't sleep. It was 3:30, 4 in the morning. I think it hit me at 4:30. I jumped out of bed. I quickly got dressed, commuted into Manhattan. I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them their money back. I'm shutting down my fund. I figured out my true purpose in life.
Incredible. Okay. Well, hold on a minute. You overnight, or literally over one talk, decided that it is something that you have to get out to the world, the truth about this matter, and from your experience, and you had experience in investing, so you knew what this guy was talking about. It wasn't something foreign to you like for most people. Okay. So what did you do next?
So I shut it down, and I didn't get much response from investors. Did get a response from my lawyer saying you can't shut down a hedge fund that way, but we did eventually shut it down in 2016. And I started, I put out the shingle, not really having any prepared techniques or processes, and found over time that no matter how much I taught people about investing in stocks or real estate or whatever they wanted to learn about crypto, that the mindset piece was critical. And they learned about stocks, but yet if they didn't have the proper mindset, they would sell when they should be buying and buy when they should be selling. And so having that abundance mindset is critical, and prosperous mindset is critical to having abundance in your life. And so a lot, Julz, you probably heard the story about lottery winners. And 95% of lottery winners, 5 years after they've won the lottery, have less money than the day before they won the lottery. And the reason is because of mindset. They don't have the millionaire mindset. So they think that they won $1 million or they won $5 million and they're financially free, when it's not true, especially if they don't have the mindset to invest that money, retain that money, and grow it. So
Okay, so hold on. So the three principles: retain, invest, and grow. So I'm assuming that with your background in money in general, all kinds of money, actuaries count money, guys, more than you can think. You can think of the combination of some practical strategies, like you mentioned, real estate investing and things like that, and the mindset piece together. So is one more important than the other? Are both necessary? Can a person that only has the mindset without the strategies start manifesting money? Or what are the basics that somebody needs before they can enter that world of growth?
yeah, I think what's more important, much more important, is mindset. And I know from my own experience, before I had the millionaire mindset, before I had the prosperity mindset, I would accumulate money and not retain it. And I know many people in my life, people I've coached and not coached, friends, family, and clients, who came in saying to me they didn't, they had this poverty consciousness and they had accumulated money but couldn't retain it or grow it. So the mindset is absolutely critical. That's number one. And if you don't have that, then no matter how much I teach you about stocks or real estate, you may find that great stock tip, or to me there's no magic pill, right? It's a process that you've created over time. A lot of people come to me and they think I'll just give them a stock tip. And rule number 8 in the 9 money rules millionaires use is DIY. I teach do it yourself, because I can give you a fish, Julz, and you have fish for a day. Or I could teach you how to fish and you have fish for a lifetime. I'd much rather teach you how to fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Because yeah, a lot of people think that if they're handed an inheritance or they win a lottery, then they're set for life. But retaining and growing that and knowing how to use it is definitely something that not a lot of people consider. So we chose a topic for today, acting as if. So could you tell us more about that, and how do people who are maybe new to this think about it? And then some people who maybe have already started applying some law of attraction principles, how can they perfect this technique?
Great question. So acting as if what you want to happen has already happened. So let's suppose you want to have a dream car, the blue convertible Maserati Gran Turismo that goes from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, semi-autonomous, 454 horsepower. So what could you do to act as if you already have it, that you're already driving it? So you could check it out online, check out prices. You can, visualize being in that dream car. You could even test drive it. Now that's acting as if you're going to get it. But there's another way to act as if you already have it. So what if you acted as if you already had it by planning a party that you're going to go to and arrive in your blue convertible Maserati, and people are going to admire it. And of course, the reason why you got the Maserati is because you manifested over $100,000, because that's how much they cost. And so you're planning a party in Midtown Manhattan at, one of your favorite restaurants like Nobu 57 or Smith and Walensky's, although I don't eat steak. And so you're planning it with your closest 50 friends. And so you're planning, okay, you're going to pull up and you see yourself visualizing yourself doing that. And, the valet is taking the car and making sure, it gets parked properly. And you go in and you're giving your speech. So that's acting as if beyond, you already have the car, right? And so there's 2 ways to act as if, and if you act as if beyond the event, it's even more powerful. Because generally what we're doing is we're acting as if to get to the thing. We're acting as if we're going to have the car, or acting as if we're going to have the dream house or dream vacation. But you could act as if you already have the dream house. You've checked it out. You've done all the work online. That's acting as if, or you could be at the house and plan and have 250 of your closest friends. You're hosting a party, with your local chef and the maids and so on, and the help, and you're giving a speech to your closest friends because of something that happened, and now this is the housewarming party. So
Wow.
do you see the difference between the two, acting as if? But you could do both. Both are powerful, but acting as if beyond the event is even more powerful.
Okay, that's really cool. And I personally had some objections coming up and me some resistance. So I'm going to ask the question as if on behalf of the audience. So, what is life like owning that car after the party? Because the party is just one short-lived event. I'm kind of going into, okay, what is my mindset? What is my state of abundance before and after the party as well? How do I treat those people, right? How do I treat, myself? What is my routine like? What is my life like when I own this vehicle? Because the vehicle is just one aspect of my life, right? And another question that I see some people asking, it didn't come up in my mind, but I'm sure some people are wondering, like, well, I don't have the money to have the car or the party. I want the car and I want the party, but I don't have the connections. I don't even know about those places. I don't have an influential group of friends. So where do I even start? Like, how do I get from here to there? Isn't there a bridge, a path?
So many great questions in there, Jules. So first of all, how treat others. So rule number 5 in the 9 money rules is gratitude. So being grateful, like I'm giving the speech at this housewarming party, and I'm so grateful for everybody who's there because they've impacted my life. And the only reason that this abundance has been created is because of them. And so I'm grateful for them. And that is a way to live your life. What do you appreciate? One of my, in a course I teach, when we talk about gratitude, we say what you appreciate appreciates, right? So what are you appreciating on a daily basis? I have a gratitude journal I write in every morning, every night. First thing is, of course, Lauren and Morgan. And then, I talk about rule number 5 in the book, and we say, by writing down why you're grateful for these people, for these things, it's even more powerful. Professor Martin Seligman did a survey, and he connected electrodes to the student's brain to see what would happen when they did this gratitude exercise. They did it for 30 days, and their brain elasticity actually expanded in the areas of happiness. So when you're more grateful, you create more happiness in your life, which, by the way, is rule number 4 in the 9 money rules. Can happiness buy you money? So that's the first point. How am I treating others? With gratitude and appreciation. And I'm grateful for them, and hopefully they're grateful for me because I've helped them become financially free. So
Awesome.
then
Let me just pause
okay.
and just kind of spell something out for our audience, because I used to think that all the rich people, all the millionaires, all the drivers of the Ferraris are jerks, right? That they look down on people, that they use their, servants, and that they are coming across as superior to other people. But the more I study the subject, and the more I kind of move up the whatever you call that, the mindset, I realize that there's still a minority like that. But people who do it right with this kind of framework, and I'm sure probably following your 9 millionaire rules, the more I notice that those are people that are the most personable. They're the most appreciative of the simplest, littlest things in life. And it comes through. You literally connect with them because they have so much appreciation and gratitude, and they do not think of themselves as anything more than whoever they're talking to. What would you comment on that?
Absolutely. Well, you get what you think about most of the time. And so if you believe that rich people are jerks and you can't be spiritual and rich, then if you're spiritual, you're not going to be rich, first of all. And then second of all, you're going to interact with people who are jerks and rich. And so I will tell you, in my life as an investor in major corporations in the US and interviewing a lot of these chief executive officers who are worth billions, that they are the nicest people in the world, the most caring, thoughtful, grateful people. And so from my own experience, and I didn't have any view going in to meet these people. I'm like, okay, how are they going to be? Should I be investing or not investing in this company? Let's see what they're like. And I will tell you, 99% of the people I met through my investing experience were good, kind, caring, thoughtful people. And so I have a lot of clients who do believe you can't be spiritual and rich. So they won't ever be rich because they're very spiritual, good souls. And so we have to overcome that limiting belief. By the way, rule number one is when you believe. So you have to overcome these limiting beliefs that you may have around rich people if you want to become rich. Now, rich, for a lot of people, it's a 4-letter word. Like literally, it's a bad word. Don't say rich. Tell me wealthy, abundant, prosperous, but there is something that hits them when they hear the word rich. And so it's a trigger. So we won't use that word. Let's use wealthy or prosperous and abundant. And so, thanks for that. And then to go back to your, other points, from earlier, if you don't have the money, you don't have the car, right? I say start with baby steps, right? Because you have to believe that you're worthy of what you want. And so belief is number one, desire is number two. I say when you have a belief on a scale of 1 to 10 of 10, absolute faith, and desire 1 to 10 of 10, burning desire, that's called expectation. You're expecting it to come. And so where are you on the belief level and where are you on the desire level? If you don't want to, one of my clients said to me, Joel, I'm not into like sports cars. I'm like, great. Why don't you think about something you want and have a burning desire for? And he said, well, I want to accumulate money so I can give it away. Okay, well, let's talk about a favorite cause. And let's really get into that and research that and act as if, or maybe you can create your own foundation or charity. I created my own last year, Solomore Charitable Giving, so that I can teach kids under 18 the concepts of financial literacy and financial freedom. So start with a baby step, right? You don't have to say, okay, well, I want to be this is a great story. A guy came to me right when I started coaching, and I used to do these meetups, and he came, and so we go around, and I said to everybody, what's your financial freedom number? And he said 1 billion. 1 billion's 1,000 millions. And I said, why a billion? And he said, well, I want to be part of the 1% club, the 99% club, where I give away 99% of my earnings. I'm like, awesome. I love this. I said, what's your belief level? He said, well, right now, probably a 4. And I said, are you a millionaire yet? He said, no. I said, well, what's your belief level that you could become a millionaire? He said, 9. I said, well, let's start there. Let's generate 1 million first. So start with the baby steps. Start with something you really, really believe in, because I believe if you start with something you don't believe in, you're going to be like knocking heads against yourself. You're going to be like, you're like affirmations. I talk about affirmations all the time, but saying an affirmation you don't believe at all, you're calling BS on yourself. You're like, I am an excellent money manager. Now, I believe that's a 10 for me, but client comes to me, I ask them to write down the level of belief of all these affirmations. If they say I'm a 1, I'm terrible with money, I say, well, let's soften it first. I'm on my way to becoming an excellent money manager. Do you believe that? Yeah, I'm a 7 there. So start with a softer affirmation. Start with a baby step on the way to what you want to create. You don't have to have the dream car if you don't want it or you don't believe it. Start with something you believe in and then move your way up.
And that is an excellent way of reframing those affirmations. I'm on my way. That is definitely a lot more believable. Okay, so once, let's say we are there in terms of the level of belief, then, or desire, both, right? Then do we really need a strategy, or do we just learn how to manifest things out of thin air?
That's a great question because I think The Secret got a bad rap. Most people know the book The Secret that came out in 2006 because there were a lot of scenes in the movie and stories in the book about people just sitting at home and waiting for the check in the mail. And I will tell you, I don't know any billionaires, and I met many of them, who just sit at home and meditate and visualize all day. They take action. And I will say, some of you will say they take massive action. I'd reframe that and say they take inspired action, right? When I'm doing something that I really enjoy, it's not work for me, it's inspired action, it's fun. So yeah, no, you have to get out into the world, you have to take some action. You can't just sit at home and wait for the money to come in, right? You have to put yourself, the universe wants to see you taking action because what you're saying to the universe is, I believe. I know it's coming. And so I'm acting as if it's already here. If you're just sitting at home all day and meditating and visualizing and not taking any action, getting out into the world, then you're saying to the universe, it's not coming. So I say, you know, I'm here to serve others, right? I'm here to help others. There's most of the people in my network, and I'm sure in yours, Julz, are here to serve others. And you can't serve others by just sitting home and meditating and visualizing. You want to help others on their journey to whatever it is, financial freedom, to having a better mindset, to having better energy, to have better health, whatever it is. But wherever you are in terms of, you know, your career, help others, you have to get out there. You have to meet other people, you know, network is one of the secret steps to having a millionaire mindset, because your net worth equals your network.
Yes.
So
Speaking
yes,
of which,
absolutely.
both Joel and I have lots of networking opportunities for you guys. So make sure you get connected to both of us and follow. Joel produces lots of content. Joel, sorry to interrupt your train of thought. I want to ask you two questions. One is about your community, and second one about going back to that story initially when you heard that guy speak and you were inspired to do this work. How do you now get that truth out, and in a very simple way, could you explain to people what was incorrect about what that guy was doing his speech on, and how you would maybe position that differently for people who are, looking to be more abundant?
Okay, so I'll answer the first one first about the community. So I have started about 18 months ago the Money Miracles membership, and it's a community of like-minded people who all want to grow in terms of monetary aspirations. They're mostly entrepreneurs, emerging entrepreneurs, but they are people working for companies as well. And I am really, one of my biggest pride is that these members have manifested almost $1.1 million in the last 18 months. They, friendships have been created. We have accountability partners that I assign, and they become friends, and they do their own things outside of the membership as well. So it's and then there's a reward system within the membership where you could win 3 or 6 months even of one-on-one prosperity coaching with me. And so we have, and 1 month as well. And then you could also win free membership. So if you get enough points, rewards points by posting, by doing testimonials and so on, by meeting with your accountability partner, I have 6 stages that people go through. I teach them from where they are now towards financial freedom based on the 9 money rules millionaires use and a lot of other concepts on manifesting. And so you go through the different stages, you can get rewards points and actually win free coaching or lifetime membership. So it's a very, very, very valuable community. We have a private Facebook group where people go and post their manifestations And like I said, it's pretty incredible. We're up to almost 1.1 million. So to
Love
answer
it.
your second question, how was the guy incorrect? So what he was saying is stock options are risk-free, and they're not. There's some risk associated with any investment. And so he was, and the other thing that he was incorrect was teaching one thing to 200 people, because we're all individuals. And I believe if you're passionate about something, you're much more likely to get rich doing it. So for some people in the room, it's not investing, it's investing in their business. Now, for other people, it could be options, but I will tell you, out of the 200 people in the room, maybe 5, maybe, would get rich using options. But for other people, it might be real estate, it might be crypto, it might be a business, it might be an Amazon fulfillment business, it might be writing a book. You know, there's many different ways to become rich, but to say to 200 people, this is the way, you have to do this, that's what hurt my heart.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And definitely there's many ways of making money, different avenues. What I would like to do, maybe to do a follow-up, or if you maybe already have some information, maybe an article, maybe you could send it and I could share with my audience about various strategies that in your research of 9 money rules millionaires use, what strategies have they utilized, or what avenues, like maybe real estate invest in this or that, that are, you know, more common than not in the world of the wealthy. Let's not use the word the rich. I would be curious to see that, because I know from me getting to know some people that there are some avenues that are often more common than others, for example, right? So I would be curious to know what came up in your research, and I'd love to share that with our audience, and
Definitely
encourage everybody to reach out to Joel. Joel, I believe you are a member of Positive Impact Circle as well. That's where all of our experts come and mingle. So this video will be posted in all of our platforms, including LinkedIn and YouTube. If you guys have any questions for Joel, please put it in the comments. He'll be more than happy to respond to you. If you cannot get a hold of him, get a hold of me and I'll connect you guys. Thank you so much. This was super inspirational. Thank you for clearing up some of the misconceptions. I'm sure a lot of our listeners appreciate that. This is a topic we can talk about forever, but to respect everybody's time, and I know we're doing a little bit of a 2-in-1 today, we will postpone the rest and answer your questions in a follow-up episode. Thank you, everybody.